Started out, like I just said, I saw everything as an opportunity. And that's really the most important thing to success is always looking for an opportunity and then executing on it. And you guys are going to see that right now when I start talking about all of these dumb little side hustles that I did. When I was 15 in high school, I had a brilliant idea to sell muffins. And I know everyone's wondering, why the hell am I going to sell muffins? Well, you see, the school was selling muffins for $1.50, and I had seen these muffins when I went shopping at Costco with my mom, and they were way cheaper. So I figured, because the genius, in me was like, hey, why don't you buy these muffins and bring them to school in a little grocery bag and just sell them to the kids under the desks and like try to make profit this way. So that's what I did, and I was making 50 cents a muffin, which was cool until I got shut down by the teachers. But I still wanted to make money. I still wanted to buy these clothes. And so since that didn't work out, I immediately thought of different things I could do. At this point in my life, my net worth was about $300. So that's where I started off. And so the next idea I had actually came from my girlfriend's mom, who had made like $20,000 flipping furniture off auction sites. And I decided to do it with go-karts. So people would list these go-karts for sale, and I was like, that's a shitty looking go-kart. I bet if it was really pretty, I could probably sell it for way more. And so I would buy them, wash them, sand them down, repaint them, put some pool noodles on them, and then I would put the back on offer up. And actually I would sell them for like $100 to $150 profit every single time. One time I sold one for $175 profit. And as like a 16-year-old, that's actually pretty good money. So after flipping all these items, the go-karts, doing some patio furniture, and selling $10 worth of muffins, my net worth had climbed to about $800 at this point in my life. Once I turned 16 years old, I immediately got the idea to get a job and work legally, since I was old enough to now. I started working at Taco Bell, making chalupas for $8.25 an hour, and just saving up every single dollar that I could save up. And I hated it, and I wasn't making a lot of money either. So I had an idea, because one of my friends from high school was working at a car wash and he was making a lot of money. I had an idea to go work at a car wash. And the thing is, in Arizona, it's like miserable to be outside. And it's even worse if you're like doing physical labor. So these people tip really well at car washes. And so like you can make like half of your day's money in tips on top of like your hourly wage. So I go to the car wash and they offer me $9 an hour. And the tips every single day in straight cash was like 20 to 40 bucks, which at the time for me was pretty good money. So I was doing that, just vacuuming away my life for a few months, until I decided that I hated that and I didn't want to do it anymore, because it was terrible. And so there was these other guys at the car wash that would sell windshields, because in Arizona, there's a lot of dust and there's a lot of rocks. And so everybody has cracks in their windshield, and you could fix a crack and make money, or you could sell a windshield and make a commission. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get into sales, and I'm gonna sell these bitches that are getting their cars washed. And I was making about 350 bucks a week, but some weeks I would make like 600 bucks if it was a really good week. And that was really cool. But meantime, while all this was happening, I was religiously saving all my money and trying not to spend any of it, because I had one goal in mind. I wanted to buy an Infiniti G35. I wanted to have a really nice car by the time I became a senior, so that I could impress all of my friends and make all my girlfriend's friends like jealous and just like get all the clout.
Fuck money now, it's all about clout.
Well, it kind of explains how I become a YouTuber, I guess. I've always wanted to get clout. But no, I just wanted a really cool car, and I liked cars. So when I was working auto glass, my net worth had climbed to about $5,500. And like I said, I was religiously saving, and I ended up making enough and finding a good deal to buy my Infiniti G35. So I went and I spent $4,800 on this car out of all the money that I saved. And I drove it to school, and I was a total badass, and everybody was jealous and everybody liked it. So mission accomplished there. But I had that car for a year. I ended up selling it for about $800 profit. And then I had the idea that I could flip cars, or I could drive cars and enjoy them and then flip them for a profit. So I literally win, win, win. So that's what I was gonna do from now on. But at this time, I didn't wanna work auto glass anymore. And I went and I pursued a job as a caregiver, making about 15 bucks an hour. So I needed a more reliable car. And I ended up buying a Volkswagen Jetta for like $6,000 something. And that was a more reliable car. It was newer and stuff like that. But that car was just really boring. It was boring as hell. So about like 2 months, I think, after buying it, I sold it again for a profit, like a $500 profit, because I got a good deal. And then I went and I bought an Audi A5 from an auction. So that car was cool, but it had a ton of issues, and I was like terrified of even driving it. So I ended up selling it as soon as I could, and I took a $400 loss. So right now I have like $6,800 to my name, and all of my friends are going to college, and I was kind of getting like a little worried about my life because I was like, all right, like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna be a basement dweller, like living with my mom when I'm 30? Because I don't really want to go to college. I did enroll into college to be a nurse for about 2 weeks. And then I was like, I don't want to be a nurse and I don't want to go to school either. So I'm just going to drop out. Keep in mind, at this point in my life, I don't know e-commerce is a thing. I don't know anything about what I'm doing in my life right now. So I dropped out 2 weeks after enrolling into nursing school because I saw a video by this guy named Graham Stephan. And he said, hey, you could buy rental properties and then you could just rent them out and live for free and do nothing. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do with my life. So I dropped out of college and I started pursuing real estate and I got my real estate license. I go to real estate school and I realized that I'm only going to ever make money when I sell a house. And nobody's going to buy a house for me because I have acne and I'm 18 and I'm like chubby. And so it might take me like 3 years to buy or 3 years to sell a house. And that's just not, I need to make money in the meantime. So while I'm caregiving, I'm also pursuing real estate. And now while I'm at my job, my caregiving job, I'm on my computer and I'm looking up, how do I make money on the internet? And this is the point in my life in which I was introduced to e-com, drop shipping, and just this whole entire ecosystem that I'm such a big part of now. So I found Dan DeSilva and Thaddeus and Rory, and I started my first store. And guys, my first store was probably worse than every single person's first store watching this. It was so terrible. It was like I was selling towels and then like trinkets and like candy, like just the stupidest store you've ever seen in your entire life. And it didn't work. But then I watched all of Rory's videos, and Rory said, yo, dude, you need to sell a niche product on a niche theme page, Instagram theme page. And then basically you sell this product that people really like to these people and they'll buy it. So I sold lion bracelets because I had no creativity at the time and that's what everybody was selling. And it didn't really work out because, like I said, everybody was selling it. So it was kind of saturated. But it funneled into my next one, which was accessories. And I wanted like to have a men's fashion website or fashion website and promote this website on fashion pages on Instagram. That was my next gig. So while I was working as a caregiver, I was setting up this business and I was buying these shout outs from these little pages that were like maybe 30 or 40K in followers. And I was barely profitable with this site. It was just like either break even or just like barely ever so slightly profitable. And I was getting super discouraged because I did this for about 2 weeks. I know it's not a lot of time at all, but still I didn't want to spend all my money losing it. So I got discouraged and I thought to myself, hey, I should go and advertise on a really big page because probably make a lot more money. But they were charging a lot more money. They were charging like $300 per shout out. And so initially I denied them, but after a few more days of it not working, I was like, okay, I'm going to try advertising on this big page one time. And then if it doesn't work, at least I don't have to think about it in the future when I move on. So that was my mindset. And so I did that. So I bought a shout out from a big page and I scheduled it for 8 a.m. the next morning. And I specifically remember because I had to wake up around that time to go to my caregiving job. I remember waking up to like $60 in sales. And I was like, okay, like that's sick. That's really cool. I don't remember what the break even was. Like, I think if I crossed like $100 in sales, I was break even for the shout out, or like $150 in sales. But anyway, I got in my car and I started driving to work. And I remember like hearing the cha-ching on my phone. It was like cha-ching. And then I looked down at my phone and I'm like, what the heck? And then I keep driving and it goes off again. And it goes off again. And like, I think I'm about to crash because I'm looking down every 2 seconds and like not paying attention to the road, just like not understanding why I'm making like a lot of money right now at 8 a.m. on like a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning. And by the time I got to my actual job, I had already made like $150 in sales, which was like, it blew my mind out of the park. I was so